Okay, folks, I'm going to try this one more time. Anybody that's still up this late at night, please forgive me for all the screw-ups and everything this evening. I don't know what the hell's going on with my live streaming, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to see if anybody's actually in the chat. If you are, I'm already about 3 beers in, trying to figure out what the hell's going on here, so bear with me as we push through this wannabe YouTube live stream. Excuse me. So I'll just give it a couple minutes. If anybody jumps in, that's fine, and I do appreciate it. But if not, I completely understand. I am a part-time reseller. I do primarily sell on eBay. I'm got in my head that I want to start dropping out of some of the other platforms just because they're not getting quite the coverage that that eBay does, and that's probably just, you know, it's my personal thing. Anyway, primarily eBay, and I dabble in Etsy, Poshmark, local Facebook groups, but as I said, primarily eBay. So tonight we're going to go over the what's sold in the last, I don't know, several weeks. It's been about 3 weeks since I've been online, so that's what we're going to cover tonight. Also to mention, I do this part-time. I am a what I like to call a eBay hobbyist, simply because I do have a full-time job. I also have other things going on in my life as far as taking care of family, which I know all of us do. And yeah, so with that in mind, I'm just going to jump right into it. Let's switch over the screen here. If you watched my last what sold video, I did have this Bob Ross. It was the master paint set. This one was the basic. I ended up letting it go for $19.99. I picked these up for probably about I want to say, just on a high in my head, $4 or $5 a piece. The master set sold for quite a bit. I just recommend, just because of the cult following that Bob Ross has, that anything that's Bob Ross related, go ahead and pick up. We're going to move right into, hopefully my wife texts me if I am not actually live. I'm just going to make sure that I refresh. And anyway, this is some of this Technic Motorsports. I just thought it was going to be something that would go quick. It's basically a riding jacket, fully padded. It did not have the interior pads in it, but as you can see here on the elbow pads and the shoulder pads, all that was there. There was some minor issues with this item. There was some scuffing and scratching on the front, and I just couldn't get it completely clean. I want to see if I can get a better shot of some of the wear on that. But I finally let that go for $21.50. I just kept dropping the price until it finally let go. And you know, sometimes I'd sit on this for so long, I was really ready for it to go. I probably had about $5 to $7 into this one. It's not a huge profit, but it's a profit all the same. Next thing, I just picked this up a couple weeks ago. This is I put this up to auction. It is Camel Smokin' Joe's Racing 10, and it did have all the matches in there. That was still sealed. And that went out one bid, $5 plus shipping. This is a Hubley tractor. I thought I'd covered this before, so if some of this is repeat stuff, I do apologize. I went back to my most recent video, my what sold video, and I didn't think this was in it, but I'm going to go ahead and cover it again. This one I actually had watchers point out to me that there was that I did have the incorrect model number. I think I had like the 961, but you know, I picked this up at right off the shelf at Goodwill here, and there were some issues with it. You know, the wheels turned, but I did not feel. I'm gonna try to get to that picture. I did not feel the screw, that middle screw right there. You see right to that side. I didn't feel like that was period. So I did note that, and I did put in there needed restoration. And you know, from a $3 pickup, that did do pretty good. Actually, by the time I started at auction, I started at $20 and ended up getting $48 plus shipping on that. Going on, I mean, I had this is from way back when I first started doing reselling on eBay. I thought shot glasses, you know, sports related, specialty shot glasses, I thought they were going to do good. Shot glasses are not for me. I realized these have been sitting on my shelf for more than a year, and I was glad to see that this was just like a random sale. I was glad to see that it left the storeroom $6.97 plus shipping. If you saw that last one of those most recent estate sale videos, hauls that I picked up, this is an old Commodore. It's actually like a cassette, data cassette. It's still at the box, is in great condition, and I would say I had $5 to $10 in this. So I mean, I paid a little bit more than I probably should have, but because I did have quite a bit of items that I picked up from that estate sale, it all averaged out. I sold this one for $29.99 plus shipping. Bubble Bobble, this is a crazy one. This one I set off to auction, and it ended up going up to $72. This is for the Atari ST 520 1040. You see right down there on the tag there. And this is a popular game on other consoles as well. Go ahead and do a search for Bubble Bobble. And I can't remember the other system that draws the highest price. If you guys know, in the after watching this, hey Sam Dallas, thanks for jumping in. I finally got my stream working again, so I don't know what was going on with it before. I'm hoping I'm not dropping too many frames tonight. Looks like I'm running about 17 frames dropped. So I don't know what was going on. I reset everything and went back and did all my streaming software and redid some settings. So thanks for jumping in. It looks like you might be the only one. It is late, and I do understand that. So I do appreciate you jumping in. But yeah, on the Bubble Bobble, it must have some sort of cult following to it. Not necessarily for the Atari 520 that this one had, but there was another console that this thing. I'm curious of what that was, so I'm gonna go over to eBay real quick. Just it seems like an odd game. I think it's the NES. Let's see how well my internet's gonna work. This one there's a flip side to this one. I'm just gonna put Bubble Bobble and let me do a sort on highest first. Yeah, it was the NES. Bubble Bobble 2. Game Boy. So I'd never heard of Bubble Bobble. Maybe I'm just completely out of it, but there was a following to it. But the interesting thing is you'll see that come up again here later on, and it brought about half that price. So this one was a good flip. I had about $1 into these games, these Atari games, and to be honest with you, I didn't even know what Atari that Atari made it a computer, but evidently they did. And there's still collectors out there that are looking for them. So if you ever see anything related to Atari ST 520 1040 that is not the Ataris that I remember sitting there playing with a joystick. It's a computer that they came out with. And this DVD, golf instruction DVD. I mean, I when I come across these, I do okay with them. Some of them bring more, some of them bring less. This one I ended up taking $8.99 plus shipping. Media is something that it's a hit or miss for me. I don't even know why I buy media anymore. It's got to be something that I think is going to be really special before I'll pick it up. Just because it's about like clothing for me. I think the market's really oversaturated. And I can take all day long to pick up a certain type of media, and then I'm going to end up, you're going to think I'm a liar because it does okay for me one week and not the following. So leave it completely up to you on what media to buy, what not. Me personally, I think there's only certain things. I guess golf instructionals or different instructionals would probably be something I might pick up, but it is what it is. This, and I thought I covered this before. Maybe it was, I probably covered it in a one of my other non-sold what sold videos, but I actually listed this in my truck. I believe I paid $20 or $25 for this. It was still factory sealed. It was a headset for basically synced up to Honda motorcycles. And I ended up turning that into a $145 sale, and it actually went the same day. So I might have been able to draw a little bit more if I would have priced a little bit higher, but I did price it a little bit lower, expecting to get a quick turnaround on it, but not as fast as I did. And you'll notice I did have free shipping on this. Free shipping is not something I typically do. Higher price items, I will put free shipping on there simply because I know that based on what I paid for it, there's a large enough margin in there that even if I marked it down, I would have been able to still make a decent profit on it. So that was a pretty good turnaround for me. Christmas is starting to sell. I know these items, when you see some of these Christmas items come up, I mean, we're talking very low price, but I've sold quite a few in the last couple of weeks. So I had maybe, anywhere from 50 cents to $1 in each of these pieces. These are some of the smaller ones I have. I do have a lot of off-brand Christmas Village pieces that I've got listed, and I'm starting to list more of. I've just been waiting for the time period. I know everybody is really focusing on Halloween right now because Halloween is only 2 months away. But Christmas, and if you ever see these pieces that are autumn related, which you don't see a lot of, those sell pretty decent too this time of year. So I've been holding on to these since early spring, but I haven't listed a lot of them. But now that I've got a few of them starting to move, I want to start listing a lot more of those Village pieces as well. So this only went $4.99 plus shipping, and based on it's still decent. If I could sell enough of them, I know I'm making my money back, and plus a little bit more. So as long as they're moving, I'm okay with a $4.99 product. This is something clicky keyboards. I don't come across them that often. I paid $1 for this, and yes, I am online, cat. I don't come across these that often, but when you do, if you don't know the difference between a clicky keyboard and the ones now, they do make a distinct clicky noise. I mean, our keyboards today, something else you might see is when you look at your keyboards today, they're very low keys, and they actually have just little buttons or sponge buttons underneath that push onto the circuit. These clicky are mechanical, like actual buttons underneath those keys, and you can definitely feel a distinction between them. A lot of people still use these, I think particularly gamers, and that's where the draw is to them. This one I actually started out, I think, at maybe, let me just see real quick if I can not do the I started this off at $15 and it finally went up to $36. So, you know, a $1 turnaround into $36. You know, you can't beat that. Actually, you know, and include priority shipping on it as well. Okay, this is another part of that lot from that estate sale where I picked up that Commodore data cassette reader. This is and the Bubble Bobble. This is Swift R, another Atari 520 game, and this actually went up to $35 in auction. So just so you know, right there's what you're looking for: 520 ST Atari, 1040 ST, and that's all I did was took pictures of the front and back. These were a lucky pickup. That I just happened to come across. I don't think these are. It's coming. This is more Commodore software. This is a whole set I sold. Again, I had about $1 a piece in there. There's what 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of these in here. I thought they would have drawn a little bit more from that, but still at $9. Next we're going to get into is the minifigs for Lego Dimensions. We actually tested all these out. If you ever pick up these Lego Dimensions things, I do recommend that you make sure that all of the bases, basically the character here sits on this base, and this one's pretty self-evident because it does have the Stay Puft Marshmallow logo there. But some of them aren't, so you want to make sure that they're programmed. I think you can reset them, but if you already have the figures that match the bases, go ahead and put them on a Lego Dimensions platform. If you haven't seen it, check it out. This particular one was for the PS2, but it's kind of a fun game to play if you haven't played it yet. I paid $30 for a whole lot of Lego Dimensions, and I had a couple controllers in there as well. It's just something I want to try out and see how it went, and it's going to end up being profitable. I don't know if I would do it again, just simply because I think they're longer tail stuff. I'm trying to focus more on. And I'm sure everybody is trying to isolate those items that sell quickly, that are more readily available, if those even exist. But I guess it shouldn't be. I mean, it's taken about a month or two to sell a few of these, so they're not terrible. We're talking $4.99 plus shipping on that. I finally got rid of this hat. I've had this for a long time. I dropped a lot of my hats down to $5 bids. Some of these that don't fit that criteria that I like to look for. Some that I've been holding on for quite some time. And something else I've noticed, I feel that the hat market has dropped a little bit. I don't know if that has to do with the change of season, because I haven't been doing hats that long. But to me, I wouldn't think that it would have anything to do with season, but who knows? I wear hats, but I wear hats all year round. But this is a Seattle Mariners snapback hat. It was, I probably shouldn't, it wasn't a snapback. I don't know why I put snapback. That is an error on my part. I couldn't find much on this, who this player represented, but anyway, $5 plus shipping. It was still a profit. Most of these hats I pay 50 cents, maybe $1 at the most. This was an early find, so I might have even paid $2. But anyway, I'll show my not so hot with my hot sales every day of the week. This is something that came out 2 auction hauls ago. I picked up that miscellaneous. It was just a miscellaneous box. I probably paid $3 for it. This is one of the items in there. How much did that sell for? The hat sold for $5 plus shipping. This is I want to say it's a Centennial Fort Worth, Texas Centennial 1836 to 1936. This is pretty much a pop metal piece and you can kind of tell that by the pitting. $9.99 plus shipping. Finally, you know, on the, this is a fishing float, and I actually had somebody message me that wanting to know what was written on one of the, on the end. There's one of these ends that actually has something written on it. You can kind of see there. So I went ahead and, you know, figured out how to read it through glass, and Easy Cat. Anyway, this ended up being an American piece, so I had to adjust my listing. You know, I do appreciate the people that the collectors out there that go out and view these items and are willing to share information. Someone reached out to me, got that, what I gave him the patent number that was on the bottom. Just shoved this in a flat rate envelope. This is very thick glass. So, you know, I wrapped it in bubble wrap, slid it in the envelope, and let it go. Here's the doll cat. This is a German Deponeri. On dolls, something you want to look for is right on the back, typically right underneath the neck, or let me scroll that up just a little bit just so you can get a better look at it. That's typically where the manufacturer, the maker of the dolls is. This is one of the first of these that I came across. This is actually a tin body, neck, and head. Not body, just from the kind of torso up. And the problem with this doll, why it didn't draw more than $20 plus shipping, is I do not feel that I don't think, let me get back over that image. I don't think these knit stockings and feet were period. And there were some issues to this one here. And I thought I had pictures of the hands here. These were plastic hands, so I don't, and just by the looks of them, they look like they're molded, so I don't think they were period either. Or I think this would have probably gone more than, you know, $40, $50 range. Next thing we have is a trucker hat. This one went $5 as well. This one was actually a K Products hat. I don't know. And I had some of these do a lot better. It had everything going for it. The only thing I think, the only downfall was it was not mesh in the back. But, you know, like I said, I think that the hat market is slowing down. This one, another $5 bid. And did I actually go for $5? I don't know. Yeah, I did. I don't know why it kept the same. I probably shouldn't be sharing users there, but anyway, $5 out for that one plus shipping. Here we have another, this is a Santa's Workbench. This one went out for $6.99. You'll see that there's a name price tag there, $4.99. These are vintage. This one's from 2000. Well, not, I wouldn't say vintage, but it's items that are probably not made anymore. This one's from 2004. So we're talking what, 12 years ago, 14 years ago. $6.99 plus shipping. First class. If you watch my video on my Facebook group, the Win by Doing reselling group, it's relatively small. Don't have many people in there yet, but you'll notice a image or a video of me throwing a box up the stairs and letting it tumble down just to test my packing. This is the vase that was actually in it. I will tell you, I do know from my first try doing milk glass or milk glass related white glass, it's just not for me. I put this off at auction just to see how it would go. I know that if I sold everything for more than $1, I will make profit on that box of glass that I have. But this one, $2 and plus shipping. Yes, Kat, the Christmas stuff is selling. Here's another lot of those minifigs for Lego Dimensions, and this is the Dream Machine, Scooby, and Shaggy. This one went out $14.99 plus shipping. All these are so light, first class, all the way. Next thing we have here is more Christmas. Well, this is the autumn ones that I was talking about before. I sold this lot for $19.99 plus shipping, everything new in package. And I just, these ones, just because they're similar packaging and everything, and they're the only autumn ones I had, I went ahead and lotted them together. And like I said, I had 50 cents to $1 into each piece. So even $5 into this, $2.50 to $5 into this, it was still a decent profit. And this one actually sold pretty quick. I would say within 2 to 3 days of me listing. I've been holding on to these levels. I thought these would do really well. I don't know what I should be looking for. Of course, they're staining in here. There were some flaws to them, but I think I bought this lot for, I don't know, maybe $5. I had 7 or 8 in there, so definitely anywhere from probably 70 cents to $1 a piece on these. I've sold a couple already. Some of the Stanley ones. This one went out $13. Plus shipping, and basically I just custom fit a box. I just wrapped cardboard around this and tucked in the ends, and off it went. Monster High, not the best sale that I made. I actually paid $20 for this lot. I was just to test them out. This had tons of accessories, some stands, movies, DVDs. I actually fit this into a flat rate box. I want to say it was large flat rate box. This went up to $36 at $20 purchase price. It really didn't leave me much profit on this. So, I think that modern dolls, I'm not enjoying. It just doesn't seem like the profit's there for me, because everybody thinks that their stuff has value. She had one particular doll that she says, well, I'll have to pull that one out because it goes for $100 on eBay. I said, really? Why do you think that? She wasn't sure, and it was still in box and stuff. And when I got home, I looked it up, and it was like $30. It was the sold price. Quit giving me crap about my dolls. Finally, the last Fiestaware cup went out. I'm sure all of you know the story by now. The cat's pitcher / carafe is officially paid for. So, and plus a little bit of profit in there. Basically, we paid $35 for the entire set, and it came with four of the little tumblers with a carafe. All she wanted was a carafe. So, I sold the four tumblers for $10 a piece. So I let's just say we got a free carafe out of all of it. This is a sad story here. The Packard Bell stationized radio. It's sold. I think I mentioned it in the Facebook group. $75, and I used global shipping to go to Canada. I got notification earlier this week that Pitney Bowes deemed it as restricted going to Canada. And this is going to be one of my main bitches about global shipping. They supposedly destroyed it. I personally believe that somebody has a nice looking radio that works sitting in their office or at home. But, I really do feel that I really don't. I really feel that eBay should really get a hold on the global shipping program, and if an item is not available to be shipped to a particular country, then they should be able to catch that on the up front and not allow a bidder or a purchaser to buy that item, let alone let me ship it out to that person, to that address, when they know where it's being shipped to. They know the item that is going out, and then all of a sudden, once it gets to the global shipper, Pitney Bowes, they get to make the determination whether they're going to destroy it or not. So I was pretty disappointed with that. I had been in contact with the buyer, and I will be having a conversation with eBay about this as well. But I got to keep my money because it got to the destination, their distribution center, and the buyer got full refund. That's just not the fact. Some of these items, I mean, they're hard to replace. I would much rather have them returned it to me, and I would have gladly given them the refund if they would have just returned the item to me. But you know, supposedly it's been destroyed. Sucks. Here's another Christmas item. This is Lemax. These actually sold through Sears. Two little snowmen. This went out $4.99 plus shipping. Again, just remember Christmas is starting to sell already. Courier Knives Collection Museum of the City of New York. There's a guy pushing a girl on a sled. $5.99 plus shipping. Here's another Lego Dimensions, and this was actually Jurassic World, the ACU Trooper minifigure. That went $4.99. This is I did not know why I put this in here. I actually probably lost money on this one. $4.99, free shipping. You know, it would have cost $3 something to ship out because it would have went first class. And just let y'all know, make sure you're double checking if you're doing a sale similar. Make sure you're double checking the listing in its entirety before you put the price on there, to make sure that you look at the shipping and really all details to make sure that they match your business policy and not the person that held the original listing that you're kind of copying over. This I've held for, I would say, since summertime. And this was a vintage suede leather brown poncho. I just add the keywords hippie, boho, shawl, coat. And I probably had $2 into this. Went out $24.99 in a flat rate envelope. I was able to fold it up, put it in a clear poly mailer or poly bag, and then shove it in a flat rate mailer. It does say economy shipping in there. Some of my items I started putting, I want to say it was, it's one of the USPS economy services. It's not media mail, it's another one. But when you actually go in there and look at it, the citizen priority is typically a penny more than what you're being charged for that cheaper service. It's not a great service to use. But anyway, $24.99, decent, but it took forever to sell. Price guns. I always look for these price guns. I got 3 of them now. This is probably one of the ones that was better condition. Contact Garvey 22-8. This one went out. This one sold within probably a day and a half. $24.99 plus shipping. This speed bag, I mean, I'm kind of glad to see it go. I did sell it, and I really looked at it. It's from the early 1900s. The only reason I know is that Reach, that's when that company, Reach Sporting Goods, was in business, was right in the turn of the century. So that was a close I come with a time period. And I actually sold this to somebody, and I was really looking for it as more of a collector's item, but they were actually wanting to use it. This was during the summer, and they had actually aired it up. They blew it up, put air in it, and found out that it was bulging a little bit and that the bladder was leaking. And you can easily replace the bladders in these speed bags, but it wasn't something I was really wanting to mess with. I mean, and it was only $6 to $8 for a new bladder, I want to say. I probably could have got more. I don't know. I mean, me personally, I'm only going to put a certain amount of effort into items, especially because I'm doing this part-time. I'm not going to spend a ton. I don't have a ton of time to sit and worry about fixing everything. But I know other people enjoy doing that. It's just not me. But anyway, it was returned to me. I paid for the return, and here it sits. And I sold it again, $59.99 plus shipping. In the middle of the sales, I ended up getting a DVD sale. I've grown to cringe whenever I see a DVD come across, because I just question. I've got 2 or 3 places where I have DVDs. I just know it's going to take me time to go back and search it for it because I don't have a inventory system. But luckily, I have one drawer that I have what I have left listed in, and I found this relatively quickly, a lot quicker than I thought it was. So I was relieved. $281 plus shipping. Again, I think media is saturated, and I'm getting to the point where I just don't even want to touch it anymore. Media and clothes and milk glass just are not for me. You know, we went back and we looked at the Bubble Bobble. This exact same piece of software prior sold for $72. This one went for $35. So I am still baffled at how the auctions work. I enjoy doing them. I just started doing them in the last, I don't know, month or so. But I'm trying to learn that there, you know, what items do better at auction and what not. And I guess one of the things I want to look at is, can you tell by looking at solds and active listings what might do better at auction and what not? Here's another one of those games, Arctic Fox. This one wasn't sealed in package, which it was, which a lot of those other ones were. But I still ended up getting $31.99 plus shipping. Again, I put all these at auction because I really didn't know where they were going to go. Oh, here's my California raisins. I put these at auction. These ran twice. I really thought they would have done better, but ended up going for $10 plus shipping. And to be honest with you, I want to say in that whole lot, which I had a lot of other things in there. I want to say I maybe gave $7 to. Let me give you a wide range, probably $7 to $14 for the entire lot. But I've already sold enough out of that box to cover the price of that lot. So you know, everything else in that lot is profit. I love buying lots at auction. Again, I know if you haven't heard this yet, if you can pick up these Art Explosion DVDs, pick them up. I think that probably the draw to it is it's pretty much free images. Where a lot, nowadays when you're going out to somebody's website, you have to watch what you purchase, what you don't. I think that's what that. Don't quote me on it, but I think that's what the draw is. But for some reason, the Art Explosion sets, these go. There's sets that go for the PC. They're even more than 750,000, but they are decent and fairly quick flips. This one, I think I had $2 or $3 into, if I remember right. Don't quote me on my memory. I'm getting old, but I ended up selling this one for $29.99 plus shipping, and it did go out media mail. This is the camera. You know, I bought $13 for two cameras at auction. They were both closed when I picked them up. This was what's crazy. I opened it up and it had this. This is what was revealed. I put this out to bid at $99, but I put the best offer on it, and I actually got two offers within 8 hours of $120 for this camera, and I had a couple other ones that were in the $50s and $60 ranges. And after I'd already responded to the first $120 offer, I countered him with $175 because I really didn't know where it was going to go. But I thought that $175 would be the low end of where I thought the auction would end. That's why I countered back with that. So everybody else that came back with offers, I basically said, you know what? I've already had a $120 offer on this. Sorry about that. And I counted them back with 175. So I'm counting everybody back at 175 just to see where it goes. And the two people that I counted back, the two that bid or offered me 120, and I counted with 175. One of them came back to me with 150, and that's what That's what it ended up going for, was $150. It's very interesting, the differences how you would run a best offer between auction and buy it now. So I talked about that in one of my previous videos. Here's another one of those Lemax Christmas Village accessories. And I just left it. I started leaving the tags on them. We know where Sears is going. And it was 2006. Sold that one for $6.99 plus shipping. So even though I screwed up on that one offering, less shipping or free shipping, I'm making it up on all the other items. This is a crazy. I still have to pack this up. I bought these. I want to say I gave, was it $13 for? I put them on at $60. I got an offer for $40. Came back with $50, and they accepted the $50 and ended up purchasing. And it's really just a bunch of these name tags, embroidered, named, like you'd find on the old service station overalls or whatever. And they sold within 3 days of listing. So I don't know if you'll ever come across these, but there is a market for these name badges. I actually have them sitting right here on the floor. I mean, they're about to be packed up. I actually went out and counted them. I don't know why I put 200. There's actually in the over 350 name tags in there. I count each and every one of them, and I don't know. And this is a Texas Instrument TI-30XIIS. This is not the TI-84, 83. It's just a cheapo calculator. I picked it up for $1.50 at a local thrift store. Finally sold it for $9.99 plus shipping. And that is it for the night. Sorry, this will be fixing all of my my internet issues. I know it is late tonight. I appreciate everybody that came out. Sam and Kat, thanks for your support. And for those of you that try to jump on before to watch, I apologize for the technical difficulty. But because I have limited time, I decided I was going to go ahead and jump on and do this. Anyway, if you're new to watching the channel, I hope that you guys, anybody that watched or watches, I hope that you find something in there that you might come across and will help you when you go out in your adventures of sourcing and can identify what sells and what doesn't. Because I'm going to show it all. The stuff that is just crap to sell, and at least from my perspective, and what you might actually come across that will, send a spark when you're out there sourcing, and you'll say, oh yeah, I remember seeing somebody on YouTube, whether it be me or anybody else that you watch, talking about that. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. But anyway, that's it for tonight. I appreciate everybody. If you haven't liked, subscribe. I mean, it's the same old song, same old dance. Like, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. But I'm going to call it a night, and we'll catch y'all later. Peace out.